Hello, welcome to Dad and Deuce. I am TJ Collins, and today I'll be interviewing Dr. Collins. And the reason I'm doing this interview is because I want to be a sports broadcaster soon enough, and so interviews is one way to get there. So ESPN, be on the lookout. So today we're going to be interviewing Dr. Collins on his book, Next Steps. And I just got a few questions for you, Dr. Collins. First one would be, what is the most exciting part about publishing?
Well, publishing is an amazing process, but I will tell you the most exciting part about the book is I had a friend of mine buy the book. And, of course, he's my friend, so I figured he'd buy the book because he's my friend. He read, I think, a chapter or so, and he called me and said, hey, man, I'm buying this book for all of my kids. So I know he bought it just to support it because, friends support friends. But for him to call me back and say, listen, man, I believe in this book so much and what you're saying so much, I want my kids to have it, that is by far the most exciting part of the book.
So you would say Next Step is a book for all ages, not just those of adults who are going in like a new chapter of life, but even kids who are getting into new things as well?
Honestly, the book started off for high school students. I wanted to give high school students some advice on how to get from high school to the next level of success, because I've seen a lot of high school kids with huge plans. You see them five years later and they're in the same exact spot or worse than when they left high school. So I tried to devise concepts, and I said to myself, what can high school students do to assure that they can reach the next level of success? As a matter of fact, the book started off as being called Before You Turn 20. But then I realized this is not just for high school students. This is for anybody going from one level to the next level. I have a family member who's incarcerated right now. I gave him the book. I said, what do you think about it? He said, man, this is for inmates who are going home. I gave it to a guy that just graduated college. He was like, this is for me. So it's for anybody that's ready to go from one level to the next level of success.
Okay. Another question. What are the major takeaways from the book? The things that you would say you have to get from this book.
Right. So one of the most important things is discover your strengths. What is that you do well? Every one of us has a unique blend of gifts, talents, and abilities. And your ultimate success is determined by you recognizing and capitalizing on that skill set. Another one is decide to have a positive attitude. See, there are a lot of things in life you can't control, but one thing you can always control is your attitude. And listen, your attitude, your disposition in life ultimately determines your altitude, how high you go in life. Your attitude determines your altitude. So decide every day, no matter what happens to me, I'm going to have a positive attitude. A third thing is develop good friendships. Who you hang around really does determine who you become. In the book, I identify 4 types of relationships: friends, enemies, frenemies, and mentors. We need to identify which type of relationship we are in with everyone we associate with. Because if you're my enemy, I know I'm going to leave you alone. But frenemies, that's what get people caught up. And in situations, they look back and they say, how did I get into this? So those are 3 of the 5 main subjects of the book.
Another question. What caused you to want to write this book? Because I've seen you've written many books before, but what made you about this book that you said, I need to write this and this has to be published?
Right. Again, it was me seeing so many high school students, as a high school principal, seeing so many high school students make so many mistakes. You think you're grown, but you just don't know about life. And what can I do to help them learn about life? And so that's really how it started. Me trying to help high school students, and it just morphed. And the people I would give copies of it to, they said, man, this isn't just for high school students. They're like, I'm successful, but I want to be more successful. This is for me. So anybody that's saying, I want to reach the next level of success, this is for you.
And last question. What would you say your next steps are?
Well, ironically, I'm writing another book. And this book is a book for families. It's really a book. See, as an educator, one thing that I realize is the biggest challenge that most students have is reading. And there's only one way to get good at reading. You have to read more. But people don't like to read more. And so I wrote a book. It's going to be extremely short chapters, and it to be read around the dinner table, right? Every member of the family can read just a chapter. It'll be just a short chapter, and then after you read it, you can discuss it. And it's going to be tidbits on what's going to help you to be successful in the future. See, one reason a lot of young people fail is because they're faced with life challenges without being prepared to deal with those challenges. As parents, we want to prevent our children from being exposed to some of life's ills. You cannot prevent your child from being exposed to life's ills. So since you can't prevent them from being exposed to life's ills, you have to prepare them to deal with life's ills when they are presented with them. This book will start presenting ways to deal with the ills or tragedies of life that children will have to deal with, the decisions that they have to make. This book is going to be designed to help them learn to deal and cope with those decision-making moments before they ever come in contact with them. So before they're put in the position to make the decision, they've already processed it in their mind. And so it's for parents to read it over and over to get these concepts into the minds of kids. So that's my next step. I'm going to write a book for families.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you for your time, and that'll be the interview. I just interviewed Dr. Collins on his new book, Next Steps. Go out and get it on Amazon,
Barnes and Nobles,
any place you get a book, LamarCollins.com.
Yeah, LamarCollins.weebly.com.
.weebly.com.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I want to thank you again for being on it, and I'll be signing out. I'm TJ Collins, ESPN. Be on the lookout. Thank you. Alrighty.